Plenty of video games claim to give the player the freedom to do whatever they want, where the only limit is that player's imagination. Other games, however, know how most players can't be trusted to play properly and not muck around, so they build in instant game overs for wayward gamers. We like to call this the reverse rage quit, in which a salty video game decides it's had enough of your BS. Here are 7 times games got so annoyed with us, they stopped us playing. Enjoy! For those unfamiliar with hit 90s sci-fi drama The X-Files, it told the story of 2 FBI agents. There was Fox Mulder, who was constantly stumbling across werewolves and aliens, and his partner Dana Scully, who would always turn up 30 seconds after those things had run off. The show was massively popular, so it stands to reason that it got its own tie-in video game. I mean, who wouldn't want to play as their favourite characters, Mulder and Scully, and solve spooky mysteries in the woods? The developers of the X-Files game, apparently, because in it you actually play as an FBI agent called Craig Wilmore, who's investigating the disappearance of Mulder and Scully in a series of featureless warehouses.
Why Agent Wilmore?
Why Agent Cook?
You picked a great day to be late. There's some big gun in from DC, I don't know what's up, but it looks serious.
Why did they disappear? Here's a clue, the FBI. They didn't want to be in the X-Files video game. Agent Wilmore's adventure can be cut short a number of ways. These include getting shot, getting blown up, and killing Agent Mulder, presumably because you think it'll bump you up to a starring role in the TV series. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. The best way to lose the X-Files the game, however, involves vexing the game so much that it rage quits on you. This is possible when you get to this charming motor inn Everett, Washington, featuring a nifty bell on reception for you to ring to attract attention.
Please don't do that. Do you know how many people do that with me sitting right here?
No.
Well, you're not the first.
Gosh, that's annoying. Bet it'd be more annoying if I did it again.
What are you, a child? I said don't do that.
Hit the bell a few more times and the game decides it's had enough, and no word of a lie, you are hauled in front of your boss, who demands your badge and gun, and kicks you out of the FBI and, more importantly, the game.
I really can't believe I'm having to do this. After 5 years at the Bureau, you should know better. I need your badge and gun.
Oh sure, Mulder can spend 9 years chasing vampires in the woods, but I hit a bell 4 times and I'm out of the FBI? This is bullshit.
Katie? Hi, you must be Nancy. I'm Katie Firestone. Come on, I'll take you down to the boat.
Nancy Drew, Danger on Deception Island, puts players in the shoes of amateur sleuth Nancy Drew as she tries to solve a mystery that involves vandalized boats and killer whales, only somehow is even less interesting than that sounds.
Okay, what's the best way to get all these in here with no space left over?
Or at least it is if you manage to make it off the houseboat that you start the game on. At the very beginning of Danger on Deception Island, you meet Katie Firestone, a woman who looks like she's just come from appearing on an airplane safety instruction card.
Just always wear your life jacket, and don't go past the channel markers.
Katie invites you onto her houseboat, at which point you're free to explore. You can poke around the place discovering clues and learning more about the island you've arrived on, and you could even head to the kitchen and make yourself a sandwich. It's at this point, however, that Nancy Drew Danger on Deception Island makes it very clear that it will absolutely not tolerate any f***ing around. Going through the sandwich ingredients in the fridge, you find regular sandwich ingredients such as lettuce, tomatoes and cheese, as well as less palatable fixings like ice cream, jellyfish samples, and expired mayonnaise. Make a regular sandwich and Nancy will have the quick energy she needs to solve the case. But screw around and make a disgusting nightmare sandwich and Nancy will quickly come down with food poisoning.
Ew. Ooh, suddenly I don't feel so good!
You can imagine the fury of a Nancy Drew game as a player who willfully poisons the titular teenage sleuth. As such, it's game over for you, and for the case of the missing orca or whatever it was we were here to investigate. I don't know, I didn't make it off the houseboat.
Sorry guys, gotta go.
Most adventure games are designed in such a way as to prevent them from becoming unwinnable, because that's no fun for anyone, except for maybe people in the future making YouTube videos about weird old games. Maniac Mansion was the first ever point-and-click adventure game, however, and so it was born in a time when game makers were still figuring stuff like that out. As such, it's possible to get one of your 3 playable characters killed, meaning you lose 1/3 of your team, along with all the items they had on them, which usually means game over. Most of the time, these situations are pretty easy to avoid. For example, I think most of us know that this will happen when we press a big red button with a radiation symbol next to it. Weirder and grosser, though, is when the game punishes you for the following extremely bad sequence of actions. First of all, you have to steal the pet hamster of the character Weird Ed Edison. Then you put said hamster in the microwave, and, well, you can imagine. That's all bad enough, but the game does let you do it. Where Maniac Mansion draws a line, however, is at you then taking those bits of exploded hamster and showing them to Weird Ed. At this point, the game huffily decides that that's quite enough point-and-click adventure for you, and straight up murders your current character, probably rendering your entire game unwinnable into the bargain. Hey, at least they had a tombstone made up for you, so, you know, not all bad. The King's Quest series is notorious for the sheer number and variety of ways in which your character can meet an ignominious end. In King's Quest II, Romancing the Throne, for example, there's drowning, falling to your death, getting got by witches, ghosts, wolves, and wow, extreme poisoning. Sounds serious. There are loads of things out to get you in King's Quest II, sure, but there's one point where the thing that ends your game is the game itself having had enough of your nonsense. That point comes when you reach a church complete with a monk who is busy doing his monkly business down by the altar. At this point, most players will leave him alone and carry on their quest. Choose to try and kill the monk, however, and King's Quest II has other ideas, effectively storming off and going home taking its ball with it. Wow, for a game that loves killing me so much, you suddenly got real touchy about killing King's Quest II.
Fun ride? Yeah, a blast. How's Mom? She misses you.
Red Faction Guerrilla tells the story of Alec Mason, a mining engineer who arrives on Mars to begin a new life working with his brother Dan. Before long, Dan reveals to Alec that he's part of a resistance movement called the Red Faction. Then he gets gunned down by the Earth Defense Force in an event that spurs Alec into joining the Red Faction and leading them to victory over the EDF.
It's over.
They'll be back.
Not for a long time.
Or at least that's what happens if you don't bean your brother with a sledgehammer during the game's introduction. Maybe you decided that you wanted to get into the action quicker, and since we're all just waiting around for Dan to get off anyway, perhaps you thought you could speed things up by driving him into the middle distance with a sledgehammer. It quickly becomes clear that Red Faction Guerrilla is not into the idea, and is deeply cross that you didn't love Dan enough to let him die at his appointed time. In our defense, Red Faction, it was a very long, slow-paced introduction, and you did give us a sledgehammer. Not sure what you thought was going to happen.
Takeshis ファミコンソフト出ろたけしの挑戦状新発売対等
Takeshi's Challenge for the NES was a game developed under the supervision of Takeshi Beat Kitano, now known as an actor and film director, then known as a comedian who hated video games. Kitano set out to create a deliberately bad and confusing video game because he thought it would be funny, which to be fair, it was. Due to its unusual beginnings, the game features a bunch of weird mechanics, including getting divorced, getting drunk, and having to sing karaoke into the control pad. It also features one of the fastest game overs in video game history, with which you can get a game over before the game has even technically started. When you start a game of Takeshi's Challenge, you are greeted with a password screen, which allows you to pick up from where you left off. Or, if you prefer, you can punch the old man who runs the password screen, at which point he will manifest the anger of the game itself and murder you. So, pretty short game. On the plus side, think of all the time you've saved. That beat Takeshi, always looking out for us. Police Quest was the most realistic series among publisher Sierra's adventure games. In a lot of cases, Police Quest required you to follow proper police procedure if you wanted to succeed. For example, making you check all 4 tyres of your patrol vehicle before heading out. As such, the list of ways in which the game would rage quit on you for mucking about was as long as the rap sheet you'd also have racked up in the process. You could blow your own leg off by not following proper firearms procedures, crash your patrol car by not following proper vehicle protocols, and even get kicked off the force for drinking in uniform. Our favourite though is right at the start of the game, where if you decide to see what's outside the police station's front door, you immediately get reprimanded for missing your briefing and placed on unpaid administrative leave. Oh, and also a game over. Seems harsh. When exactly do I get to dive sideways through the air firing two guns? You know what? Forget it. Anyway, there you have it. Some more of the Times games had enough of our shenanigans and just up and rage quit on us. Any other favourite examples we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more videos like this from Outside Xbox. Thanks for watching!